So a couple weeks ago, I talked about Radio Shack selling customers' information to third parties, companies out there, and apparently right now they're not the only one, because I mean all these big companies they're getting fined for a very serious security breach, and AT&T happens to be one of them right now. So the link to this article will be in the description below from Techno Buffalo, and it was an interesting article. AT&T is being fined $25 million. Why is that? Because it's actually AT&T's fault themselves. Because apparently whoever was the CEO or is the CEO currently of AT&T has not been doing a good job on keeping an eye on their own employees, or even hiring employees who can be trustworthy and not give out any specific information out there that has to do with customers. So the employees themselves in AT&T, well, in this case, I believe the article did state it was the Mexican call center or whatever the case may be. But apparently AT&T's own employees are selling customers' information to third parties out there, meaning their social security numbers, their phone numbers, their addresses. So yeah, AT&T, what is going on? I mean, now security is very serious these days. I mean, first, a couple weeks ago I talked about Radio Shack, and now AT&T is just seeing the fines themselves. And apparently they had a contract with the Mexican Center back in September, which actually ended in September of last year. And then, they've been keeping an eye on this security breach for a while ever since then. And now AT&T is going to get a fine for $25 million. So this got me thinking, what are companies doing these days in order to protect the information of their customers and making sure that they're secured as possible? You can't make the security bulletproof, because no matter how much you do, no matter how much money you put into security, it's gonna get breached either way, or it's gonna get broken down somehow. Just like I did a What I Think video, I can't remember when, it's gotta be a few years ago. I remember talking about the JFK security system. I'm talking about JFK Airport's security system in Long Island City, New York. And I believe that was like $1 billion or $1 million. I can't recall. But apparently that security also got breached as well. Why? Because someone just swam to the airport, hop over the fence, and then they got into the runway. And then they started running towards the airport and got arrested. So as you see, that airport put a lot of money into protecting their airport and making sure that all the surroundings are nice and secured, but it got breached. This is just breached physically. In this case with AT&T, they got breached through the network and through the servers, because now the employees themselves are actually selling customers' information out there without their permission, which means who knows what could happen. Especially with the social security numbers being released, that's even scarier, because you never ever give out your social security number to something that you don't know about. And unless they require it and you really know that it's, for the most part, is safe, then go ahead and by all means give it out. Otherwise, if you don't have to give it out, don't do it. Alright, because that's your personal number. You want to remember it. And you don't want anybody stealing your identity. So what does this mean for AT&T? Does this mean they have to check on every staff member they have? Not just corporate themselves. I'm talking about nationwide, in terms of the whole country. What are they going to do to stop this? Are they going to have to visit every store and then check on every employee to see which one they have to, get rid of, or have to keep an eye on? Maybe give them a warning depending on, how much involved they got into this breach. So, I don't know. all I can say is security is getting worse these days, and we got to do a lot better than what we're doing right now to protect ourselves not only, and to do that we have to make sure the network is safe and it's secured, and make sure that you do have to provide all these private informations. You got to make sure that you're giving it to someone or something that you trust, and you know that for the most part it's not going to be this serious, because this may sound like a little thing, but it's very serious. Because here's the thing, as soon as you start thinking about social security numbers, that shows you how significant this is. So what do you guys think about this fine that AT&T has to pay? Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. And these companies, I tell you right now, they're getting themselves into a lot of legal trouble, and I don't know how they're going to get out of it. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also, check the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.